All right, welcome. So you will need a blanket today, so make sure you get a blankie or a towel will work as well. We'll start seated. And do your best to sit nice and tall. And let your eyes close, relax your face. And just take your first breath to allow your bones to settle. Arriving here in this moment. Bring your attention to your breath. And as you exhale, breathe down into the hips. Get grounded in your seat. With your inhalation, grow tall, lengthening through the spine. Breathe lots of space in between the ribs and around the heart. And keep lengthening through the throat and the crown. And keep that fullness as you exhale. The shoulders settle onto the back of the heart. And do your best to sit tall, but relax your belly as you breathe. Let it be soft. Let your inhalation be full. And your exhalation complete. Really push all the air out. Just taking these first few moments to allow the body and mind to settle. And do your best to let go of any thoughts of the future, thoughts of the past. And we use the breath as an anchor to be here in the present moment. And just feeling the breath move in the body. Notice sensation. Notice parts of the body that move as you breathe. The expansion and contraction of the belly. Feel the ribs expanding circumferentially like a balloon. Notice the rise and fall of the chest and the back of the heart. And feel the air on your skin or the clothes on your skin. And the next time you inhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. And take this time to set an intention for your practice, to make an offering or a prayer. And we'll start this morning chanting one Om together. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky, watch your palms touch. And then Om, and bring your hands to your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. We'll start on hands and knees. And you can just get right into some cat and cow or any sort of organic wiggling movement that you need. Spread the fingers, maybe wiggle the hips or hip circles. And then come back to hands and knees. Take the right arm up to the sky, a nice big inhale, open the chest, and you'll slide the right hand through, bring the shoulder all the way to the floor. And then clasp your fingers. So you kind of grab the fingers and pull the hands away from each other. And just take a little extra breath under that right shoulder. And then left fingers down, carefully unwind. Inhale. Come back to hands and knees. And just any little wiggling to kind of neutralize after that little twist. And then second side, left arm up, big inhale, open your chest, lean back, let it feel good. Exhale, slide it all the way through. And then clasping the fingers, and you just give a little bit of a pull away from you. And then push the right fingers down, inhale back to center. This time, take the fingers wide, like off your mat, and think about like cat and cow in the chest. So bend the elbows wide, squeeze the shoulders together on the back, and kind of reach your chin forward a little. And then exhale, push the floor away and feel the shoulder blades come apart. So inhale, squeeze the shoulders together on the back. Exhale, push, shoulder blades apart. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale. And then walk your hands forward to puppy pose. You can stay on your fingertips or push the palms down, but keep your arms really strong. So I like to imagine there's like a pokey cactus under the armpits that you don't want to touch. So your armpits keep pulling up as you slowly try to push your chest down towards the earth. And try to keep the ribs in the body. And then walk your hands way over to the right. And just get that big stretch through the left side. Really reach the left fingers forward and kind of pull your left hip back. Big stretch through the left waist. Inhale back to center. And go the other way. Walk your hands to the left. Walk your right fingers way forward. Big stretch through the whole right side body. Nice big inhale. Breathe into the lungs on the right side. Big exhale. Really squeeze all the air out. Back to center. Inhaling. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Reach your hips up and back. And have any little wiggles that you like to do. First downward dog of the class. Do your best to push your knuckles down, your finger pads. Bend the knees a little bit so you can really wiggle your sit bones nice and high. Try not to lock the knees. And then come all the way down to your knees. Bring the knees to the floor. Keep the toes tucked and sit back on your heels. And just a little side bend. Right fingers to the floor. Reach your left arm up and over. Pull the ribs in the body and try to stay heavy in the hips. So keep pushing down through the hips, down through the feet. Big breath into the feet and the toes. Back to center. Inhale and switch sides. Exhale, try to keep your right hip heavy. Big inhale, relax your jaw. Back to center, inhale. And then back to hands and knees just to wiggle out the toes, circle the ankles. And then downward dog once again. Reach your hips up and back. Push through the knuckles. Spread the toes just as much as you spread the fingers. So make the muscles in the arms and legs strong. And then stretch your muscles longer. Walk your hands to your feet. Forward fold at the back of the mat. Just bend your knees until your fingers can touch the floor. Let your head dangle. Interlace the fingers at the low back. Reach the knuckles up and over. And keep the weight in the heels. Inhale, chair pose. You'll swing the arms forward and up. So inhale, arms reach forward and up. And then exhale, back to that interlace. Interlace the fingers. Reach your knuckles up and over. So do that a few times, just at your own pace. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Chair. Reach the hips back. Exhale, knuckles up and over. And do one or two more and try to switch the knuckles that are on top when you interlace back there. And the next time you're bowing in, stay there. Bring the fingertips back to the earth and walk yourself forward, plank pose. Take your feet just a little bit wide so you can really claw your hands. And then come to, without wiggling the hips, come to the right fingertips. And then right hand down and left fingertips. So play with that a little bit. Do your best to keep your pelvis and your torso steady. And notice how your hips want to sway, so you just work really hard. Squeeze the legs towards each other, even though they're apart. And then come all the way down to your belly, chaturanga. Locust pose, lift your legs, lift your hands, just let them hover right under your chest. Pretend you're wearing jeans, button your pants and zip them up. So feel the front belly get super strong, and then inhale, lift your chest. Keep the chest lifted, push your hands down, and keep going into cobra. So the toes will start to come down as you lift your heart. Inhale. And then downward dog, however you get there, through hands and knees or push up. Downward dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Right leg up to the sky on your in-breath. And bend the knee, open the hip. Try to keep your left arm bone lifting, the ribs in the body, and push your foot away. Slowly take that right leg forward between the hands to a lunge. Right foot forward. Fingertips right under your shoulders, and you can have blocks here if you need them. So just take the first breath to get nice and strong in your lunge. The back thigh bone's lifting. That front shin is right in the ankle. Inhale, open the heart. Feel the skin of the heart lifting and your collarbone smile. And then exhale, pull the hips back, pull the right toes back and bow in. Let's take a few rounds on your own, at your own pace. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, like a pyramid variation. Pull the ribs off the thigh, just with your muscles. And then from behind the ribs, stretch the legs long. And then the next time you're forward, let the knee come down, low lunge. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky. Keep the ribs pulling back, but push your knee forward. Grab your left wrist and pull it to the right, little side bend. So I like to imagine there's like a feather tickling your belly. You keep pulling the ribs back and the belly in as you push the hips forward. And then big stretch from that left knee, the bottom knee, all the way through the whole left side. And then slow unwind. Inhale back to plank pose. Take your time. Take both heels to the left, so they're kind of staggered. Come to the right fingertips. Pull your left belly up towards the sky as high as it can go. And then if you want to keep going, take the right arm up to a side plank. Keep pushing the knuckles in that bottom hand down. Try not to lock the elbow. And then back to plank and switch sides, but take it really slow. So back to plank, both heels to the right, pause. Come to the left fingertips, and then really pull the right belly in as high as it can go. Get so strong in your right belly, and then maybe that left arm floats up. One more big inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Come all the way down to your belly, chaturanga. Coming through locust again. Inhale, squeeze the muscles on the back side. Really feel the muscles along the spine get super strong. And then push the handprints down. Keep going into cobra or upward facing dog if you like. Keep the ribs pulling into the body. Really try to get this back bend moving up into the upper back and chest. Exhale, child's pose with the toes tucked. Bring your bum all the way to the heels. And when I do it this way, I like to stack my fists. But if your head touches the floor and it feels comfortable, you can do that too. Keep pulling the heels into the midline. And if you do want more, you can lift the head and chest and come back to this version where you're sitting on your heels. And then untuck the toes, circle it out a little bit. Take your right foot on top of the left arch and sit back on your heels. So if you, like I have a pretty squishy mat, but if you need blanket under your foot, like your knee or your foot, because it can be kind of hard on the bottom foot if it's a little bony. But what we're doing is we're trying to use the bone of this top foot to massage the bottom of that other foot. So I like to start kind of up by the heel, and then I kind of work my way down. And the more weight I lean back, the more pressure. So you're in charge of how deep it's going. If you need a little less, you can kind of lean forward. And if you want more, just really kind of lean back. You can lean to the side a little bit. Feel free to kind of experiment and explore. And long exhales, especially if you find other parts of your body getting tight, like chest and shoulders and jaw. So really long exhale, breathe down towards the earth. And then bring your hands forward just to circle it out. And just for a second, tuck your toes and sit back and maybe see if you can feel a difference in the feet in this shape. And then you can switch sides when you're ready. So other left ankle on top, or just make sure you're doing your second side. So you'll probably find a spot that's really tender. That's most likely a good place to kind of hang out and breathe and get curious. But also, it's fine to kind of move around. That's what I like to do. For me, I really like closer to my heel. That's like a spot that feels good. Like it hurts so good. So do a little moving around, but then do kind of find a spot and stay there for a little extra breath. And then again, just kind of leaning the hips side to side. That might change sensation. Leaning forward or leaning back. So this is kind of another, ball rolling your feet would work the same thing. This is kind of a way to do it if you didn't have a ball. And working the feet, the fascia in the feet will will affect the whole backside of your body. So there's this line of fascia that goes from the bottom of your feet all the way up the whole backside of your body, all the way through the skull into your eyebrows. So I just find it so fascinating that you can like work the feet and it could relieve like a tension headache potentially. Okay, shake it out. Back to downward dog, nice big inhale. And just check out your downward dog if it feels different, maybe in the backs of the legs. Take your left leg up on your in-breath. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step through nice and slow with control. Bring the thigh to the ribs, the left foot forward, lunge. Keep that back thigh nice and strong. Pull the heart forward on your inhale. Exhale, bowing in. Pull the left toes back. Keep going with your breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, bowing in. And we'll go low lunge from here, that right knee down. Nice strong legs, really push them into the floor to help you lift up. Inhale. So again, something's tickling your belly, pull the belly and ribs back. So it's really easy to kind of have this break in the ribs so you can get the hips down. But we want to contain the strength and stability in the pelvis, keep the core really strong, and then try to push the hips forward, and it really just gets a little bit deeper that way. Your joints really like the strength and stability of the hugging in. And then take that side bend so you can grab the right wrist pull, or you can hook the thumbs, pull over to the side, left side. Keep the ribs and hips, the ribs pulling in back and the hips pushing forward. And big stretch from that bottom knee all the way through that top arm. Good. Inhale, unwind. Step back, plank pose. We'll play with that side plank again, both heels to the left. So you can stay here on your fingertips, or take the right arm all the way up to the sky, side plank. You can also bring the knee down. But really working the strength of the side body and the core and the belly muscles on the left side. Working hard to get the shoulder on the back of the heart, and just switch when you're ready. Nice and slow and methodically, moving with strength and integrity. Claw the hands, move your heels to the right, fingertips on the left, squeeze the belly muscles into the body. And then see if you can lift the arm. Really push the knuckles down on that bottom hand. Spiral your bicep forward towards the fingers. Come all the way to your belly when you're ready. Take your time. Inhale, locust, pull the ribs in. Squeeze the muscles on the back. The multifidi muscles are all along the spine. Keep going into your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, child's pose. Once again with the toes tucked. You could bring the hips all the way to the heels. Either stack your fists or let your head land on the floor. Inhale to rise, and you'll need your blanket. So take your blanket and roll it up. So it's kind of like this long roll. And we're going to bring it behind the knees here. And your toes are flat. You're not tucking the toes for this. And then you sit back and smash your calves. So I like to try to start by shoving it as close to my knees as I can, and then sit back. I call it calf smashing. If this is like so intense, which it is for me, you can put a block under your bum. That'll take a little bit of the intensity out. Or lean forward a little bit. Just take a few breaths like that, and maybe you can kind of slowly work your way upright. This is very intense. So what you're trying to do is exhale, try to relax a little bit. So we kind of have this tendency to like freeze and pull in. So try to exhale and just let your shoulders soften, and it might take a few breaths to kind of settle. And it's fine to kind of come out for a second and then go back in. But we do try to hold this a little bit long. If you want more, you're leaning back. Your ribs are in, you're pushing down. If you want less, you kind of lean forward. But notice how, like, for me anyway, I tend to pop my ribs forward, but I want to get my bum back. I still want you to try to keep the ribs in the body with your bum back. And this is, slow but very deep, and I get super like warmed up from this kind of work. Like I'm sweating right now. Okay, couple more breaths. Relax your face. Okay, slowly unwind. Keep the roll, keep it in a roll, but bring it in front of you. And let's scooch a little bit to the back of the mat. From here, you'll come up to forward fold. You might like your blocks here. The toes go on the roll, so lift and spread the toes. The heels stay on the floor. Forward fold with your feet on the roll, so it's just a little extra calf stretch this way. Work hard to keep the strength and integrity in the feet. So once we add the roll, sometimes whatever your tendencies are, if your ankles roll in or your ankles roll out, that happens. So push through the big toe mound, nice and strong. Stretch through the outer heel like you're drawing an X. And then pinky toe mound to inner heel. You can bend the knees, is fine, but keep reaching your tailbone up, your sit bones, scrape them up the wall. And then from here, just step off your roll, but stay in your forward fold and just compare. Forward fold without the roll. And move your roll out of the way. Keep your heels down as long as you can as you walk forward to downward dog. And it's just, your heels will lift eventually. You're still not locking the knees, but just play with how long you can leave them down as you stretch your arms forward. And just notice how this down dog feels compared to your first one before we did all that leg and foot work. And then walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Interlace fingers at the low back. Reach the knuckles up and over. We'll play with that chair, the chair into interlace, bowing in. So hips pull back, arms reach up, chair pose, and it's just slow and steady on your inhale. Exhale, and interlace, knuckles up and over. And take a few rounds. Inhale, chair, exhale. Exhale, fold. Keep going. And next time you're in chair pose, stay there. Push to standing, nice and slow and steady. Let the hands come down. Just a couple circles with the shoulders. And one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Just pausing in stillness. A little micro bend in the knees. Pause and check in. Feel your feet connecting with the earth. Feel the heart naturally lift as you inhale. Feel the hands just gently giving you a hug as you exhale. Just pause and notice your breath, your heartbeat. Any sensations in the body. And gently release the hands. We'll play with balance here. So you might like to have a block. We'll do half moon eventually. So if you like a block for half moon. So lift and spread the toes. Shift your weight to the left and grab your right ankle. So hugging into your midline. Little micro bend in the elbow back here, so you keep pulling your shoulders on the back and lift the heart. And I like to bring the other hand to the heart. That just kind of helps me lift up the heart a little bit. But you can have that hand on your hip or reach it forward. So just start with this quad stretch. And then start to kick your foot back into the hand, but keep lifting the heart. Bend this bottom knee a little bit. Keep the ribs in the body as you kick back and puff up the chest. So we're going to keep going, bringing that left hand to the floor. If you need to let go of this top leg at any time, do that. But play with your balance as you start to fold in. You can always bring this right hand down too. So it's kind of like standing splits with your knee bent. And then straighten the leg, regular standing splits. Then play with that top leg, turning it in so the knee and toe point down, and then externally opening it like you would half moon, the knee and toe point up. So do that a few times. Knee and toe point down, knee and toe like you're stacking the hips. And then hold this stacking. Both hands can be down, and this is a fine place to stay. If you want to start to open the right hand up to the sky or bring it to the hip, the left hand is right under the shoulder. Flex the foot back there. Make both legs super strong. Lots of work in this bottom leg. And it's wobbling a lot, and you're just working really hard to do your best to keep the shin stable and the knee pointing the same way as the toes. We're going to step back, side angle. So bend the bottom leg, big step back. Side angle. Bring your elbow to your thigh. That back foot's parallel to the edge of the mat. The front heel bisects the back arch. And reach your right arm right by your face. The pinky spirals down and the thumb spirals up. You can play with your edge a little bit, bending deeper into that front thigh and backing off. And pushing the forearm down into the thigh, pull the ribs into the body, those bottom ribs like we did in that side plank. And then make your way to triangle pose. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Slowly push that bottom leg straight without locking the knee. I have to go wider. I just kind of wiggle my feet a little bit wider in triangle pose, so it's fine to adjust. Make your feet strong. Drag your feet towards each other. Just feel how that makes the muscles of the legs stronger. And then do the opposite. Stretch your legs apart. Good. Inhale. Reverse warrior. Bend that front knee. Reach the left arm all the way up to the sky. Lean back. Let it feel good. Big inhale. Inhale back to center. Straighten that front leg and turn the toes so we're in wide leg forward fold. And just if you need to get a little closer, wider for stability. Yep, fold in. Exhale. So we're going to play with a little rocking back on the heels and then forward on the toes. Rock back on the heels, forward on the toes. If you want to add on, rock back on the heels, and then when you rock forward, start to walk towards like a plank pose, like a wide leg plank. And then walk back. Rock back on your heels. Do that a few times. And if you want one more add-on, you do a push-up when you get there. You do that. Walk wide legs and add a push-up. Options. And the next time you're in your wide leg fold, stay there. You can grab your elbows. Or just let your shoulders dangle, shake it out. And then make your way to the top of the mat. Yogi's Choice Vinyasa. So stepping back. You can add that side plank if you like, or take some hip circles here. Take like 5 or 6 breaths to do what you need to do. And really what your body wants you to do, not your brain. And that could be a little movement, it could be a resting. Eventually making your way to the top of the mat, forward fold, however you get there. Come halfway up on your inhale, open your heart. Exhale, fold all the way in. Come to standing, nice strong legs. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky. Exhale, push the hands down. Mountain pose, just stand tall. And checking in. Relax your face. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And get ready for second side. So at the top of the mat, get ready to balance. So again, if you like your block for half moon, bring it kind of near the right foot. So starting with, shift your weight to the right, the quad stretch. Grab your left ankle, just kind of check in, re-engage, keep the ribs in, pull the heel towards your bum for this first part. And then keep the ribs pulling back as you start to kick the foot back. Bend the bottom leg just so you're not locking it. And for me, when I bend, I can actually get a little bigger back bend and open the heart just a little more. So you're playing with balance. Eventually that right hand's coming all the way to the floor like a standing splits. And you can keep holding the foot or let it go at any time. Bend this bottom leg just so you're not locking the knee. Keep reaching your bum up, your foot up, and then make it a straight leg, regular standing splits. And then play with that rotation. So walk your hands forward just a little bit so your hands are under your chest. Open the hip and stack. Open the hips and then exhale, rotate more inward so your hips are parallel. So just really kind of feeling the femur bone, that thigh bone rolling in and rolling out, and notice how that changes the shape of the pelvis, the orientation of the pelvis. Then half moon, hold it open, knee and toe open. Keep reaching your heart forward. And slowly start to open the left hand. Bring it onto the hip or up to the sky. So looking down at the floor will really help with balance. And eventually you shift your gaze and start to look around, and that's more challenging. So when you're ready for side angle, bend this front leg. Scoot your hand back. Big step back with that back foot. Just get there. Elbow on the thigh. Just take a second to check. Check out the feet. Back foot's parallel. This front shin is nice and strong right in the middle of the ankle. Add the arm, left arm reaching right by your face. Push the forearm down into the thigh so the shoulder is nice and strong. Take a big inhale into the top side of the chest, the left armpit. And then exhale the front ribs into the body. That's the core strength. From here, triangle pose, the left arm goes up, and slowly push this right leg strong. And do it really slow. Like we can easily be like, boop, straight leg, but do it so slow with strength so it doesn't just lock into that knee. Hands can be right under your shoulder on a block or the shin. Some of you can get to the floor. And your face is looking up or down, whatever feels okay for your neck. Reverse warrior, bend that front knee. Right arm goes all the way up and back. Reverse warrior. Big inhale, like a big yawn for your body. From here, slowly unwind. Once again, take a yogi's choice vinyasa. So stepping back plank, stepping back down dog. Maybe you come to a dolphin pose, child's pose, side plank. You can do a pose that we haven't done yet that your body really wants. What I want you to just get comfortable with, making your own choice and making it up. Okay, inhale to rise. One more here before we come onto our back. So camel pose. I like to do it with my toes tucked, but you can also have the feet flat. We're working hard to keep the ribs in the body, and we move from the upper back and the shoulders is what we want to open. So hug into your midline. Pelvis is hugging in. Your legs and your trunk are super strong and stable. Stretch the arms up. And then cactus the arms, bend the elbows, and feel the shoulder blades squeezing onto the back of the heart, and the tips of the shoulder blades kind of puff up your chest and lift it up. So you could stay here. You can do hands behind the head. It's another way where we can kind of keep puffing up the chest, let the head lean back. Or you can bring the hands to the low back. So keep pushing, use the hands to kind of push the tailbone down, pull the ribs in, and puff up the chest. And if you like to go down and grab your ankles, you can do that here as well. Lately, I like to look forward instead of dropping the head back. And I just keep thinking, ribs in, puff up the chest. Ribs in, puff up the chest. Ribs in, puff up the chest. Big breath. If you can grab your ankles, you grab the inside of the ankle. Keep hugging your ankles in and kind of push the hands into the ankles. There's a little bit of this resistance, and you can get just a little more stretch in the chest. When you're ready to come up, hands at your low back, anchor down through the pelvis, and then sit back on your heels and rest. Take a moment to feel the effects of that back bending. So relax your face. Let your spine and pelvis come back to neutral. And then from here, open your eyes. Keep your right leg bent, just like this. You're kind of sitting on the heel. Lean to the right and pull the left leg out in front. And then slide your butt cheek onto the floor. So spread the toes here. So this is like a really big bend in this knee, and if it bothers your knee, don't do it. Just come out. I'll show you something else. If it's okay for your knee to have this deep bend, then you will work the quad stretch this way. So from here, quad stretch, that's really what we're working. So if it's not working for you, go on your side quad stretch. But if you're here, spread the toes. You want to keep the heel hugging in. Some of you can keep going. You walk back onto your forearms. Some of you can even go all the way onto your back. As I go down, I keep trying to wiggle these toes up towards me and stretch this knee long to the floor. I'm okay with this knee lifting as long as it doesn't bother you, but keep lengthening to the floor. Think about this thigh bone moving down to the floor and long. So if you can come all the way down, it might look like this. But if you're like that, then I would stay on your forearms. If you're all the way down and you do want more, pull the left knee into the belly, into the ribs. So even here, I kind of try to keep wiggling these bottom toes, the right toes. I just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I get them a little higher towards my butt. And if you're here and it feels fine, you can play around with the left leg. You can stretch it up or pull it in or not. Long exhale, so I'm thinking about all the muscles and bones moving straight down towards the earth. The ribs, the psoas muscle, it's connected from your back to your hips. And when you're ready to come up, just nice and slow, use your hands to help you. When you unwind, move from the hip. Keep squeezing your knee joint closed, lean to the side, and feel your hip kind of unwind the leg. And then we can give it a little rev, maybe squeeze the muscles, gentle massage around the knee. So if that bothers your knee, don't do it. It's not worth it if it hurts. But if it's something where it's more alignment, then you just start to check, okay, well, what's my foot doing? I check the feet, make sure they're working strong. So let's do the other side. Bend the left Bring your heel to your bum, so squeeze this really tight, and then roll from your hip to bring the foot behind. So this knee is straight out from the sit bone. Spread the toes. My ankle is straight. And take your time. So maybe you know you can go on your back, but just take your time getting there. And if this bothers you, try to work the quad stretch this way. So the first few breaths, you can stay on your forearms maybe. And it could be totally different on this side than the first side, and just, listen to your body and honor where it's at today. Keep spreading the toes. Keep stretching from your sit bone all the way straight out the knee. Keep breathing down towards the earth. Let the muscles just start to melt towards the floor. So we do want to try to have the natural curves in the back as best we can. So there's a natural curve in the low back. And you try not to have it be too big of a curve and too flat. You just try to have it be neutral. And if you do like to play with the right leg, pull the right knee in, or maybe circle or stretch it up. And then when you're ready, just nice and slow, press yourself up, lean to the side, be really gentle about how you unwind. You're rolling from the hip. You don't ever want to roll the knee like you would the hip joint. The knee just goes forward and back. And then if you like to squeeze it a little bit and give it just a little rub. Like practice giving your body a little bit of love. And then one more here on our back. So you roll all the way onto your hip. I'm going to go left hip. Right leg across. So like straight out from my hip. And then I'm going to use this hand more like a pillow, but you could stay on your forearm. And then bend the bottom leg there and reach for it with the right hand, the top hand. So we're in like this twist with the quad stretch again. And here's a good place to start. If you want to open more into a twist, you can start to open the chest and come more onto your back. Some of you can grab both feet and play with stretching your legs apart. Just a nice big breath into the waist, or you can stay here on your side. And then slowly unwind, come onto your back. And just take one breath there in neutral before you switch sides. And then take the other leg across the body, come all the way onto that hip. Left leg all the way across. And then bending the bottom leg, reach for it with the left hand. And then either staying here with the head on the hand, or I like to kind of walk myself forward just a little bit towards the foot that's out front, and then roll more onto the back. And it's fine to kind of go in and out of both if you like to do a little more of a pulsing or a little more of a movement in between each one, or just find one and stay and breathe. When you're ready, just a slow release, come all the way onto your back. And take any last pose or any little wiggle just to get yourself ready for Shavasana. Maybe windshield wiper the legs or a happy baby or pull the knees in. And then get any props you like to have, an eye pillow, blanket over the body. Relax your fingers and toes. Bones heavy, skin soft. Unhinge your jaw, soften your tongue. Relax the muscles around the eyes and lips. Breathing in, one knows they are breathing in. Breathing out, one knows they are breathing out. Breathing in, one knows the body. Breathing out, one knows the body. Breathing in, one knows peace. Breathing out, one knows peace. Breathing in, one calms the body. Breathing out, one calms the body. Resting in stillness. Shavasana. Breathe into your belly, your lungs, and your heart. As you exhale, bring movement back to the body. Wiggle fingers and toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. Take a lazy stretch. Bend your knees or rest on your side. And come to seated as you're ready, sitting tall. to your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a moment to feel the effects of your practice and to honor your efforts for showing up today. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong. May you be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May you love and live a life with ease. And may all beings benefit from your practice. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.